Your first 7 days on Carnivore, a meal plan to beat the adaptation flu. You're standing on the edge of a massive health transformation. You've heard the promises of crystal clear mental focus, effortless fat loss, and total freedom from chronic inflammation. But then the fear creeps in. What about the keto flu? Will you spend your first week miserable, battling headaches, nausea, and crushing fatigue? This article provides the precise, step-by-step 7-day plan designed to turn that terrifying adaptation flu into a manageable, even comfortable, metabolic transition. I am Mirza from Carnivore Cure. Welcome! If you're new here, subscribe, like, comment, and share. It truly helps us cut through the noise and get this life-changing information to the people who need it most. We're about to lay out a complete, beginner-friendly carnivore meal plan and strategy, focusing intensely on the one thing mainstream sources completely miss: electrolyte management. By following this plan, you will stack the odds in your favor for a smooth, energized start. Section 1. The myth of the flu. It's a chemical crisis, not a virus. The reason most people feel awful in the first week of a zero-carb diet isn't that their body is detoxing toxins, in a vague sense. It's a very specific, scientifically observable event: acute sodium depletion. This is the #1 content gap missed by every generic, low-carb guide. When you eliminate carbohydrates, you eliminate the primary trigger for the hormone insulin. Low insulin levels are fantastic for fat burning, but they have a crucial side effect. They signal the kidneys to stop holding onto water and, critically, sodium. You essentially flush out massive amounts of fluid and minerals. The symptoms: crushing headaches, dizziness when standing up, heart palpitations, fatigue, and brain fog. These are the classic signs of severe dehydration and sodium deficiency. The solution: we are not battling a flu. We are managing a chemical shift. The key to eliminating the adaptation flu is aggressive, proactive electrolyte, sodium, intake. This 7-day plan is built around this single, non-negotiable principle. Section 2. The 7-day electrolyte mastery plan, the foundation. Before we talk about food, we must talk about salt and water. If you get this wrong, no amount of ribeye will save you from misery. Remember that salt isn't the enemy here. It's the solution. The sodium mandate. On a standard diet, high insulin retains sodium. On Carnivore, low insulin requires you to manually replace it. This is a fundamental change in how your physiology operates. You can't just sprinkle a little salt and call it a day. Target: for the first 7 to 10 days, aim for a minimum of 5,000 to 7,000 milligrams of sodium per day. That's about 2.5 to 3.5 teaspoons of salt. You might need even more if you're active. How to consume: generously salt everything you eat. Salt it until it tastes slightly too salty. Also, create electrolyte water by adding a generous pinch of salt, about 1/2 teaspoon, to large glasses of water, consumed 3 to 4 times throughout the day. Do not be afraid of the salt shaker. It is your lifeline. Embrace the salty life. Magnesium and potassium insurance. While sodium is the crisis manager, you also need to prevent secondary deficiencies. Ignoring these can lead to nighttime muscle cramps. Magnesium. Critical for muscle relaxation and sleep. A good quality magnesium glycinate supplement, 300 to 400 milligrams, taken before bed can prevent muscle cramps and significantly improve sleep quality. Potassium. Less critical than sodium initially, but helpful. You can get a good amount of potassium naturally from high-quality muscle meat, but you can also add a pinch of no salt, or light salt, potassium chloride, to your electrolyte water. Section 3. The first 7-day meal plan. Focus, fat and simplicity. The first week is about maximal healing, maximum satiety, and minimum inflammation. We are prioritizing the most bioavailable, least inflammatory foods: beef, salt, fat, and water. We're not getting fancy, we're getting fixed. The rules of the first week. Rule number 1, prioritize fat. You are switching from carb fuel to fat fuel. You must eat until you are completely stuffed, ensuring every meal contains plenty of fat. Target 70 to 80% of your calories from fat. If you eat lean, you will crash. Simple as that. Rule number 2, simple cuts only. Stick to ground beef, 80/20ths, and chuck roast for cost and fat content. This minimizes complexity and digestive stress. We are aiming for pure metabolic healing, not culinary genius. Rule number 3. Meal timing doesn't matter, yet. Eat when you are hungry. If you want 4 small meals, fine. If you feel naturally satiated after one meal, even better. Listen to your body's true hunger cues, not the fake hunger of sugar withdrawal. Your simple plan layout, no tables, days 1 and 2, the beef and egg reset. For your first meal, eat 4 to 5 scrambled eggs cooked in a generous amount of tallow or butter, heavily salted. The high fat and simple protein hit your satiety button immediately. For your next meal, have a large bowl of 80/20ths ground beef, cooked in its own fat. Salt it until it sparkles. For your last meal, eat a fatty chuck steak, or ribeye if budget allows, with an extra tablespoon of butter melted on top. Days 3 and 4. Adding the organ insurance and leftovers. Start your day with an omelette made from 4 eggs, cooked in ghee, with extra salt. Your second meal should be simple. Leftover shredded chuck roast, which you slow cooked ahead of time, utilizing the delicious, soft fat. For dinner, have your 80/20ths ground beef again, but this time, mix in 1 to 2 ounces of finely ground, pre-cooked beef liver. This gives you a massive nutrient boost without a huge change in flavor. Days 5, 6, and 7. Budget and texture variety. Keep the first meal simple. 6 hard-boiled eggs or 4 scrambled eggs. Focus on fat. Your second meal is simple. Ground beef patties, made with 80/20ths, cooked in tallow. For dinner, introduce a different texture. Bone-in chicken thighs, skin on, cooked until crispy, liberally salted. This provides essential fat and prevents flavor boredom. The crucial missing content. Notice how we are leveraging ground beef, 80/20ths, as the staple because it is cheap, easy, and contains the perfect fat ratio without any effort. We also sneak in liver for nutritional completeness, addressing a common long-term mistake early on. Anecdote 1. The egg lifeboat. Sarah, a former strict vegan before going carnivore, was utterly terrified of the adaptation flu. She followed the electrolyte mandate exactly, consuming salt in her water throughout the day. When she felt slightly nauseous on day 3, she thought she was failing. She realized she was simply under-eating. Instead of quitting, she immediately ate 6 hard-boiled eggs with extra salt. The nausea vanished within minutes, and the quick, easy-to-digest fat provided the immediate fuel her brain and body desperately needed. The eggs saved her transition. Section 4. Navigating the trough, digestion and bowel changes. In your first week, expect radical changes in your bathroom habits. This is normal and usually a sign the diet is working. Don't panic if things feel different. A. The case of the loose stool. This is the most common complaint in the first week. It's almost always caused by one of 2 factors: a sudden, massive increase in fat intake, or, surprisingly, still not enough salt, hydration. You might think, I'm eating too much fat. The content gap. Your body's production of bile needs time to ramp up to emulsify the large volume of fat you're suddenly consuming. The fix. Go back to the sodium mandate. If you're already salting aggressively, try slightly reducing your external added fat for 2 days. E.g., use less added butter, but never eat lean meat, and slowly increase it back up. Your bile production will catch up. This is a temporary adjustment, not a sign of permanent intolerance. B. The case of the missing movement, constipation. Some beginners panic when they realize they haven't had a bowel movement in 3 or 4 days. They've been conditioned to rely on fiber for volume. The content gap. Fiber is indigestible volume, not a laxative. If you haven't moved, it means your body is efficiently absorbing almost everything you ate. You have no plant waste. The fix. You need volume, but from a healthy source. Increase your water and fat intake significantly. Fat is the natural lubricant and movement stimulant. Drink more water with salt, and melt another tablespoon of butter over your steak. Your body is simply adapting to efficiency. Section 5. Psychological barriers and mindset shifts. The first week is not just a physical battle, it's a psychological one. You are breaking a lifetime of behavioral and social programming related to food. The sugar and carb withdrawal, the real addiction. The fatigue and brain fog of days 2 to 5 are often the psychological symptoms of sugar withdrawal. You are breaking a literal addiction to glucose. This is where the emotional hook is strongest. This is the moment your old habits fight back. Mindset shift. Recognize the hunger or craving for carbs as the final, desperate plea of an old addiction. Do not feed the addiction. When cravings hit, immediately eat a small piece of fatty meat or a spoonful of butter. The fat signals massive satiety to the brain without triggering the addictive reward pathway. This is how you break the cycle. Anecdote 2. The Burger King craving. Mike was crushing it on day 4. Then, driving home from work, he saw the familiar Burger King sign and was hit by an overwhelming, physical craving for a bun and fries. He knew it was the addiction talking, not true hunger. It was a powerful, almost chemical urge. He drove straight home, fried up a small bowl of ground beef in tallow, salted it until it tasted almost too salty, and ate it quickly. The immediate, powerful satiety signal from the fat extinguished the craving completely. He realized the carnivore diet gave him the biological power to overcome a psychological addiction. Section 6. Planning for success, the end of week 1. By day 7, if you followed the electrolyte mandate and the fat rule, you should be noticing a distinct shift. The flu symptoms are receding, and a feeling of stable, quiet energy is starting to emerge. You've crossed the threshold. The first win. You will likely notice a significant reduction in joint stiffness, bloating, or gut issues. These are the non-scale victories that prove the elimination of irritants is working. Don't just look at the scale. Feel the difference. The next step. Now that you've survived the adaptation, the focus shifts to sustainability. For week 2, look at adding small amounts of variety, fatty salmon, bone broth, or occasional aged cheese, if dairy is tolerated, to prevent boredom and ensure comprehensive micronutrient intake. Anecdote 3. The quiet energy. Lisa struggled with chronic fatigue for years, describing her energy as a series of sugar peaks and massive crashes. By the end of her first week of carnivore, she didn't feel wired or caffeinated. She felt quietly energized. She could focus for hours without needing a coffee or a snack. Her husband commented that she was less irritable. This quiet, stable, non-addictive energy is the ultimate benefit of fat adaptation and the sign of success. Quick-fire FAQ. Week 1 panic points. Q. Do I need to weigh and track my food? Absolutely not in the first week. Your body is resetting its hunger signals. Focus only on eating until you are stuffed and completely satiated. Tracking is an unnecessary stressor that leads to failure. Q. Can I drink coffee in the first week? Ideally, no. Caffeine is a diuretic, which exacerbates the sodium flushing, mistake number 1. It also suppresses genuine hunger cues. Drop the coffee for the first 7 days to give your metabolism the purest reset possible. After week 1, you can slowly reintroduce it. Q. My joints feel worse. Is this the diet? It's almost certainly the sodium issue, or a temporary detox. Sticking to the plan and increasing your electrolytes often resolves acute joint pain symptoms, as muscle cramping and dehydration can mimic pain. If it persists past week 2, consult your doctor. Conclusion. The unstoppable start. Your first 7 days on the carnivore diet are the hardest, but they are also the most important. By focusing your attention entirely on electrolyte mastery and ensuring adequate fat intake, you effectively disarm the adaptation flu before it can take hold. You have the power to transition smoothly, comfortably, and effectively. This meal plan and strategy are your tools. Don't let the fear of a temporary flu stop you from achieving permanent, life-changing health. If you are ready to start your journey energized, hit the subscribe button right now, and leave a comment below sharing which day you are on. I'm not a doctor. Consult a healthcare professional before making major diet changes, especially if you have pre-existing conditions or are on medication.